Do business, act business. Business matter. That's the business. Business matter. That's the business. Business matter. That's the business. Business matter.
Environmental sustainable systems helps us to position our country as a whole as regards to the national determined contribution which the Paris Agreement has brought about. One of the ways for us to ensure that we register in the positives is to invest in so much of what we call recycling. You're welcome to Business Matters. My name is Stephen Ipalabo Lawson. This is where business truly matters.
Business matter. That's the business. Business matter.
Data statistics helps us to be able to make informed decisions, especially with regards to economic programs that can help us address poverty issues in the country. How the government and the private individuals expect to be able to make this work will give us a whole new hope for a better society. Let us have our business update.
Business matter.
Hey, beautiful. Your eyes, your smile are all begging me to take you home tonight. Now reading page 3. Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Entel 4G.
Entel. Live more.
Business matter.
As it is our tradition on Business Matter, where we invite a professional to help us understand the topic of the day, here is our professionals segment.
Business matter.
Thank you very much. Today I'm having a woman who has been in the forefront of environmental friendly processes and ideas to help us to ensure that we balance what we call the people, planet, and profit. She has a background in philosophy as well as management, as has been in the finance industry before she left and joined, or rather co-founded, what we know today as Lasgidis Recyclers. And that is no other person than Mrs. Idu Okwuosa. You're welcome, madam.
Thank you.
I know I've had you before on this program, and it's interesting to have you again. And part of the reasons I think my producer, Mr. Tunde, has thought about having you is the fact that we are confronted with a major challenge in our society today.
Yeah.
The society actually doesn't understand the value of what it is we are looking at, especially when it focuses on transferring waste to wealth, which obviously is the topic that we're dealing with today. And so somebody like you who has been in the field, I mean, you've soiled your hands and that. They say that if you have to basically pursue a project, you have to put your hands on the plow.
Oh, yes.
What exactly does it mean when you talk about converting waste to wealth?
Thank you for this opportunity once more.
You're welcome.
In the industry right now, we call it waste to wealth. There are different ways you can convert your waste to wealth. First of all, if you think of the many plastics on our streets, on our gutters, on the waterways and stuff, you just wonder why Nigerians are not making use of the opportunities. So I used to live in the US, and I remember when we moved back, my kids used to ask me, how come the Nigerians just drink and fling out of their windows? Because in the US, if you go to buy soda or canned drinks, there's a deposit that you pay, 5 cents, it could be 10 cents. So the next time you come to shop, you bring your cans and bottles back, put it in the vending machine, and you get your money back. So it might sound like a little money, but it goes a long way. We used to use the monies, the kids would buy whatever they wanted, or you could use it to do laundry. So you can say that at least this was the money I got from recycling. So we're trying to do that in Nigeria, but the Nigerian structure makes it very difficult and impossible to do. We have even offered families the opportunity to pick their plastics at home, and we can come pick it up and offer health insurance to their house helps or whoever they choose. In some neighborhoods in Lagos, they're already doing the same thing. Mothers and the children can pick plastics and use it and pay school fees.
Wow.
So
wow.
these are the things that are happening right now, and we're encouraging people to do that.
All right, I'm very much aware that the United Nations actually has a coalition or some kind of project focused on plastic recycling. As a matter of fact, there seems to be more on that than there are particular focus on maybe paper recycling or some other forms of recycling. And that is because the PET bottles themselves obviously litter the road, just like you've mentioned. As a matter of fact, it has become a threat even to the marine lives and bodies, so to speak, because apparently some of the living things in the oceans actually begin to digest some of those things, and it creates a whole major challenge. Has there been a situation whereby a lot of these concerns has been taken from a policy level so that government at different levels can actually have it as part of a policy which they can engage the citizens on?
So we're lucky to live in Lagos State, and Lagos State through LOMA is doing a whole lot to ensure that we reduce the plastic waste in our environment. If you think of Nigeria as a whole, we have bigger issues than to worry about plastics. But just an assurance that the LOMA in Lagos, they're doing a great job in bringing out policies to encourage. Even there's an association of recyclers in Nigeria, and the Lagos chapter is quite strong and trying to partner with LOMA to see how much of these policies can actually come to fruition.
All right. One of the things we always have as a major concern on this program is a business program, obviously.
Yes.
And we know that government can't do it alone. And this is the reason why the management model or the business model of public-private partnership comes into play.
Yes.
And a lot of these PET bottles, for example, are offshoots of industrial productions, especially with the soft drinks, the soda, the beer manufacturers, as the case may be. Has there a particular responsibility placed on these organizations?
Recently, there's a huge focus on them doing more. So they have formed an association themselves to find a way to buy back. So they partner with recyclers like me, and they support or sponsor cleanups, and they give us an avenue to actually collect and return to them. But you have to be mindful that most of the food items prefer to use virgin products. So, but in South Africa, they use maybe 60% of recycled products and 40% of fresh raisins. So these are the things that they're doing, but they're very mindful of it, and I can assure you that most of the big manufacturers in Nigeria have keyed into this and doing a whole lot about it.
That's great. I'm going to ask you this, Mrs. Idu, with regards to the business angle of it. I know that for you to be a recycler, it's not so much about the PET bottles you collect.
No.
Obviously, there has to be a process. People make a case that some of those materials can actually form input sources for manufacturing. So they themselves are raw materials in themselves. Do we actually have established recycling firms or recycling will I say infrastructure, so to speak, in the country? Because the one that I seem to know about, and I think when you're coming into Lagos, the Olusoso access, where you have the heap of, debris, and then you have the Loma that has, some kind of machines that transforms a lot of these debris into perhaps manure and the rest of that. Do we have that for plastic bottles?
So first thing is to collect. The second step is to sort, because you
Okay.
can't mix plastic and cans and organic waste together. So like me, I play more on the collection bit.
Okay.
I collect pure water sachet. I go to factories where they make pure water sachet and I buy their waste off of them.
Oh, that's
And I chose not to like do the crushing for myself because of electricity issues, logistics issues. So I played more on the collection bit where I go to source, pick them up. I go to homes, pick them up. Then I sell to the huge off-takers in the industry, people that have set back-to-back recycling plants.
great. Okay.
So like a pure water sachet, when it's recycled, they use them to make those nylons that they used to buy.
Okay,
those
yeah,
black,
the carrier
yellow,
nylons
yes,
and the
those
rest of that.
carry-ons.
Okay, okay.
So there are different things that they use them to do. Aluminium is the best. You can still make aluminiums from it. You melt them and sell back to them, and they recreate the scans.
Okay.
So, yes.
People have actually argued that it's a way of creating jobs, especially for the, will I say whether the informal sectors or the people that perhaps are on the bottom of the pyramid. What's your take on that?
So I see it differently. So if you notice in Nigeria, there are lots of scavengers.
That's true.
So right now, the focus is how do we organize these scavengers so they feed into the people that have gone to get licenses to be recyclers. So that's a new focus for Lagos State. They're trying to see if they can. So they've asked us to identify where we're focused on. So they'll get these recyclers, those scavengers to probably register and assign them to you so that when they bring those things, you buy it off of them. And it's a logistics nightmare to do recycling in Nigeria. And the margin is quite low. So unless you're a social entrepreneur,
Yes.
you won't find any reason to be in this business. And the money is at the other end where you crush and either palletize or granulate. So, but you require huge millions of naira to do that.
To do that.
And if you take a loan from a bank, you can imagine the interest rate on it. So the margin is quite low. The only way people are really making it is you get noticed by an international agency that supports this, and they sponsor your event or they give you money for.
But that won't be enough in order to sustain, an
It's not
economic
sustainable,
cycle.
yes.
Mhm,
So,
that's-
but the we're coming up with creative ways, which is what I've just done, to just focus on collection, and let other people worry about that.
Yeah, but the role of government to see this as an avenue for job creation, also identifying with a lot of what the Paris Agreement has actually,
Yes.
enumerated in terms of what is our own national determined contribution towards meeting that target. Is it that some of these policymakers do not see first and foremost, the argument has to be for the fact that there is a huge opportunity
Yes.
in this field.
Oh,
And
yes.
is it that they don't see it that way, or what exactly is the missing link here?
So if you think of the country we live in, that's the least of the government's problem. So it came back to the private sector. Apart from Lagos State, there's no other state or the Federal Capital Territory, there's no other state I can say has placed any focus on managing their waste. And I think they should have a rethink because they're doing themselves disservice by not focusing on managing this waste.
All right, viewers, we're going to be taking a short break right away now. And as soon as we are back, this conversation that focuses on waste to wealth continues.
Experience unlimited superfast internet access from Intel 4G.
Intel. Live more.
Thank you. If you just joined us, this is Business Matters, and we're looking at the topic waste to wealth. And joining me in the studio is the co-founder of Lasgidis Recyclers, Mrs. Idu Okwuosa. And she has a financial background. Interesting enough, she left the banking industry and then joined the social enterprise, which she co-founded, that focuses on environment and environment management, especially with recycling. And so, ma'am, we were talking earlier on about some of the issues that recycling industry is facing and where the government needs to begin to look at that as a viable option for job creation, for economic empowerment. But we also are aware of the fact that people may not know what the different kinds of plastic that there are. I know you've mentioned pure water, we've mentioned the PET bottled water, and then you obviously made me understand that even aluminium, as a matter of fact, is also recyclable. Are there particular, because there are people who are listening, perhaps they might want to be collectors, as you like say, or people who go around, like I see a lot of them in parties, you know,
Yes.
after the parties, they
Once you drop your
you
can.
drop your can and they put that in.
Yes.
So will you call those kinds of people recyclers? And then I'm putting two questions in one. What are the different kinds of plastic they can focus on, and what actually makes someone a recycler?
So for lack of a better word, those people are scavengers and collectors. So
Okay.
scavengers are collectors of plastic. Recyclers are the people at the other end of it. So there are three major steps, like I said. The collection itself of picking it from homes or streets or wherever. And we prefer to pick at source because when you pick at source, it's cleaner. And then when you take it to your factory, you have to sort. Remove PET plastic, which is the bottled water, soft drinks. Then there's the aluminium. This is the cans.
Okay.
Those ones have more value. If you notice in parties, once you drop your can, they grab it. You see cans in dustbins.
No,
So the value is
that's
higher.
a fact.
The value is higher. So the
You
like
don't
the
see
PET
cans.
plastics, you can get 25 naira for a kilogram, and that's like a waste of time. That's
A
almost
kilogram is like how many?
like maybe 15 bottles, and you get
15
all this at
bottles.
25 naira.
You
for
get
it.
25 naira for
Why
that.
would you want to do
So
that?
15, 30 bottles will give you 15 naira.
So that's why
Okay.
most people are not collecting. So we now
But for the cans, what
the cans, the least they get for cans is 150 naira a kilogram.
a kilo makes how many cans? Okay,
That one is easier, but
you squash them. So
Yes.
this is when you squash each
Then
of
you don't
them
know
that
the
you
weight of the
know
cans.
each of.
But
So
just think
what
of the
makes a
value.
kilo? I mean, when it's squashed, is it like maybe 100 of that?
It would weigh less than that.
Okay.
Because cans, if you notice too, the bottles are lighter now and the cans are lighter. It's all part of managing the waste.
I mean, your industry as it is, we don't have too many recyclers, as the case might be. Apart from yours, I
You'll be
think.
surprised. In
they are-
Lagos alone, we're more than 50.
Oh, but is that enough?
So it's not enough. But if you consider the cost of setup and logistics nightmare, so someone calls you to come and pick up. They say, "Oh, my house is overflowing with plastic." You drive to the place, you see those the dustbin, those black bags. They'll give you two. Think of the cost of
Oh,
sending
my.
your staff all the way to, and the way they were shouting that it's so full, and you come there and the value of that is maybe 15 naira. But you spent the staff, they've used the truck and stuff. So it's
Yeah, but I know in developed countries there are programs, and I know Lagos State actually started something of that nature,
The
where you
Packham,
sort
yes.
where you sort your plastics, and then
Yes.
homes and all that. Why is that not adopted on a wide level?
We're
And
still a lot. We still require to enlighten people. So
Okay.
we're not there yet. If you, like I said at the beginning, an average Nigerian family, the way it's set up, does not.
consider that as
Yes,
anything
so
that
you tell your house help, don't throw away my plastics or cans, and it's easier for them to just put everything in the dustbin and throw away. So I think an enlightenment campaign will go a long way. Incentives to say, if you bring this, it might be small, but they say in Nigeria, at all, ain't bad pass. So instead of putting it in the dustbin, use it and get some small money, and they used to give some products too, so you can get a recharge card or stuff if you don't want cash.
And I know that because I'm not too very comfortable with the word scavengers, because I see a lot of people who are out there trying to engage themselves economically rather than subscribe to certain ills that puts every one of us on edge.
Yes.
However, there seems to be more of the women in this area than there are men. In my own opinion and observation, I stand corrected. It's not intentional to see exactly how women themselves can be empowered through that avenue, no matter how small it is. Even if I'm able to put together 100 kilo of whatever it is, I know that is going to fetch me between 200 or 300, 400 naira. That is better than
Still
going
better
to
than
steal
begging, yes.
or begging, as the case is. So is it a conscious or intentional focus that women seem to be populating this particular I would call them maybe pickers.
I'm sure you see them carrying huge bags on their
I mean,
heads on
as
the
a matter of
road.
fact, sometimes you walk down certain streets and you
Yes.
see
Huge
nets,
yes.
plastic pet bottles in nets and all that. So I ask myself, how are they going to be able to take this from this point to, whatever point
I
there
think
is?
it's because the men feel too big to do such menial jobs.
Oh, no, men do a lot of menial jobs. I mean,
But they'd rather go to a construction site and carry cement or carry sand
okay.
than be picking plastics. So
Okay.
it's a cultural thing, and women understand better than men in such areas. So you tell a woman, collect these things. When you bring it, I'll give you enough money to pay your child's school fees. Some schools in Ajegunle and some other places are already running this program. So the kids and their mothers bring plastics to school. It is
That's
weighed
great.
until it's enough to pay offset a child's
Wow.
school fees. Yes.
Wow.
A lot of the recyclers are doing that.
That's
We
innovative.
had even offered them health insurance. We partnered with another healthcare. You do this, you bring enough, and we give you health insurance for a full year. And they are
Wonderful.
still not interested. So it's a mind shift that needs a cultural mind shift that needs to happen.
Yeah, because we also have that challenge, especially with issues regarding climate change,
Exactly.
where people don't think that this is very, very,
It has
very,
an impact on the weather.
impactful on every single one of us. I mean, you're driving down the road, for example, and somebody you will think is educated, winds down this
And flings.
and flings debris out of,
Oh.
and then you either, if you have the opportunity, you try to address that. The person tells you that if he doesn't do that, how do the sweepers get to
Exactly. So
to get a job?
That's a
I
different
mean,
conversation.
But finally, we have to look at. I always believe in comparative analysis. That helps us to see how we are measuring.
Yeah.
In Africa, do you think other countries are performing better than we are, especially in this area of environmental friendly practices, recycling, and all of that?
Oh yeah, I can't remember the countries, but some of them have actually banned the use of plastic bags. So you can't go to the market and they use a plastic bag. Though I always say that we're not there yet, because a few years ago, the Nigerian government was going to ban pure water sachet. And I'm like, a lot of more people die from cholera and all those things
That's
than
true.
banned. So what we should do is focus on education and proper
awareness.
disposal. I just remember the story. I was traveling one time and I stopped in Onitsha, I think, and had to wash my hand. And I bought pure water and told someone to please help me.
Open and
Help
pour
me,
into your
pour it.
hands.
No, I poured it myself and asked the woman, please, where can I drop this? They were looking at me like maybe I was crazy. Drop it on the floor. I said, I can't. She actually took it from me and flung it on the floor. She's
Oh
like,
my
why are you
God.
looking for where to dispose pure water sachet, ordinary pure water sachet? So I think it's an individual self-regulation. I preach it. So if I do the right thing and you do the right thing, Nigeria will be in
Yeah,
a better
integral
place.
wise, we all do the right thing. All right, thank you so very much, madam.
Thank
This
you.
is so much we can take. And viewers, thank you for staying tuned. Like you heard Mrs. Idu had mentioned, if you do the right thing, I do the right thing, the next person does the right thing, we all will definitely,
Be in a better place.
be in a better place, because we must be responsible. And there is a huge opportunity, regardless of some of the challenges, that we can actually transform, waste to wealth. Thank you so very much, Ma,
Thank
for joining
you.
us
Thank
one
you
more
for
time
having me.
again. It's a pleasure all the time.
Okay.
Anyway, viewers, please stay tuned. The program continues after this moment.
Business matter. Let's talk business. Business matter.
Regardless of the challenges that definitely the business environment has, there are huge opportunities for us to explore. If we're able to address some of these issues as regards to policy, logistics, power, as well as even the attitude of the average Nigerian, we certainly perhaps will be climbing on a ladder that will lift us up into a place where success will become our everyday engagement. We must understand that each one of us has a responsibility to ensure that we maintain a clean environment, and certainly it benefits us all at the end of the day. This is so much we can bring to you on Business Matters. My name is Stephen Ipalbo Lawson. Please do follow us on all our social media platforms as well as our website. Until I come your way again, bye-bye for now.
Business matter.